We're ready? And it's another video collection. MASH. Goodbye, farewell, amen. This is the final video collection, the last episode. How many of you remember the last episode of MASH? Anybody? I remember it very, very much. In fact, I remember it more because of a relationship I had later in life. The church that ordained me was never a large church and ended up in one of those catch-22 situations where they needed new people to be able to continue going, and the facility was in such desperate condition that it would not attract new people. But to be able to have funds to fix the facility, they had to have new people and new income. So it got to the point that the church closed. In fact, the pastor who was there at the time, a very dear friend of mine who passed away just last year, Rodney Richards, had been given a very special ministry by God through no fault of his own. Good preacher, good teacher, real nice guy, great pastor. But in the course of his work as a pastor, he had closed 3 churches. He'd been the final pastor 3 times. Wow. This was the theme of our final worship service. Goodbye, farewell, and amen. By that point in time, I had moved from there. In fact, that church sent out a number of pastors. I was one of them. And I had gone, I was down in southern Illinois, but came back for that particular service where we celebrated what God had done. And the fact that God continued to work in our lives, that God continued to desire to work in that community, perhaps not through that particular church, but through the people of that community. The church is always, the church, the universal church is one generation away from extinction. Realize that. If you do not share your faith with the next generation, if we do not pass the faith along to the next generation, then not only is Temple Baptist not going to be here one generation from now, but if every Christian took that attitude, the church would cease to exist. Now, God has said that we will be His witnesses in Jerusalem, in Judea, in Samaria. Jerusalem for us would be Mason City. Judea would be that area around us, Cerro Gordo County. Samaria would be that place that is near us but different. Maybe Worth County, but I think they're a lot like us. But perhaps the Hispanics that are in our own community. Or perhaps maybe the blacks who have moved into our community and are a growing minority. But Jerusalem, Judea, Samaria, and to the ends of the earth. The people who are unsaved in the world right now are our responsibility. You can say, "Oh no, that's for the International Mission Board." Yeah, some of them. But we support. In fact, we are the International Mission Board. And we elect people, and they actually have a board there. But when it comes to where the power for that, the funds, the prayers, and the people to actually be the missionaries, they come from our churches. That's us. They, "Oh no, it's the North American Mission Board." Same thing. It's us. At every level, it's us. We have that responsibility. So again, if you look at the plumb line, where are you in regards to sending, praying, giving, to going? Think about next time you watch a MASH episode. It's probably something you never would have thought of before while watching MASH. But think about that. What would God have you to do with your life? And you're responsible for this generation.